Yeah.
Thank you.
Hello. He said we aren't on the live stream yet. He said like 2 minutes.
Where's Leslie?
And now we're on the live stream. If you look at the top right of your WebEx events, you'll see that it says live next to connected, I believe, or should say.
I see that.
Okay, so we're on live. All right. Good evening to all students, staff, administrators, and community members. My name is Labria Gordon, the president of the Student Board of Education. On behalf of the Student Board, we would like to welcome you to our District 205 Road to Success College and Career Panel. Our purpose for hosting this event is to inform students on post-secondary options and offer advice to those who may need it. We hope that you retain reliable information and apply it towards your future. We encourage everyone to participate by asking questions and remaining attentive. I would also like to take the time to address Ms. Winnington, the Board of Education Vice President, for being with us today. For our keynote speaker, we have Ms. King. Ms. King is the College and Career Counselor at Thornton Township High School. This is her 10th year in this position. Prior to that, she was a guidance counselor and she taught English and speech at both Thornton and Thornridge. This is her 20th year in District 205. She is a wife and a mother of 2 grown-ups. She loves her role as a counselor and enjoys helping students make a plan for their future. Her favorite thing is to see her students become successful adults. Now let's take the time to welcome Ms. King.
Thank you. Okay, I have a presentation for you, so I'm going to present my screen, and hopefully this will all go right. I don't see the same option. Oh, yes, I do. Okay, here we go. Okay, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to start the presentation now. Hi, I'm Mrs. King. And first, I'd like to thank Dr. Doss, who's a proud Wildcat, Ms. Green Keenan, and the District 205 Student Board of Education for inviting me here to present to you today. I'm the College and Career Counselor at Thornton, and while Thornton is my home, District 205 is in my heart. I'm excited about the program today and happy to see some former students who have come back to give back and to pour into the next generation. This presentation has been put together to briefly introduce you to the 3 college and career counselors in your building and to tell you about some of the changes and the new things that have been developed for you to help you with post-high school planning in this new virtual environment. Some things are new and some things have been made better, but all things have been done to help you with your road to success. We are, we are 3 college and career counselors. Good evening. This is Teresa King from Thornton.
Hi, I'm Tiffany Ferguson, the College and Career Counselor here at Thornridge.
Hello, I'm Mrs. Ricita Bishop, College and Career Counselor at Thornwood.
All 3 schools have developed college and career centers in Google Classroom. The virtual college and career centers are very similar to the ones that you'll find at your high school.
Are you muted, Ms. King? Oh yeah, it shows that you're muted.
I can't hear her.
Yeah, I think she may have had an audio issue. Because it shows she's not muted here on our end, but we're not hearing any sound from her. So I believe we could go to the next part for now. Is Christiana here yet? I do not see her in yet.
Next, we will have Dr. Jones' presentation, and Charity Counts is going to present.
For our keynote speaker of this event, we have Dr. Shaniqua Jones. Dr. Shaniqua Jones completed her doctoral degree in interdisciplinary leadership with a specialization in higher education in May 2016, with a proven professional code of higher standards within the post-secondary arena. She accepted a 2-year assignment as the Director of Community Engagement and Diversity Programs at Trinity Christian College. For the 2018-2019 academic year, she used her collection of experience as the Restorative Justice Coordinator, Dean of Students at the Chicago Collegiate Charter School. As a foundation for the restorative justice training, she provides to churches, schools, community organizations, the Cook County Southland Juvenile Council, and the Illinois Department of Juvenile Justice. Her diverse program in academic and professions, as well as her personal journey, has allowed her to understand the concerns of those she serves. Currently, Dr. Shaniqua Jones is the coordinator of the Restorative Justice and Restorative Practices within the District 205. With the national platform as the founder of the Purple Path, Dr. Shaniqua Jones has to continue educating and serving students, parents, guardians, educators, and more through her Restorative Justice one-on-one courses offered online. Dr. Shaniqua Jones is a wife and a mother of 5 biological children, as well as an author of 3 astounding works and 2 electronic books. Let's welcome Dr. Shaniqua Jones.
Good afternoon, everyone. How are you? For those who are not on mute, if you're able to respond or even put in the chat, I'm thankful to be part of the best school district in the nation. And I say that because I am a child of District 205. I graduated from Thornwood High School in 1998. So I'm a Thunderbird, and that's no shade to anyone else. But the purpose of today is really, from my perspective, is to talk about education as a whole and how education has been the key for me and has been the foundation. Yes, Thunderbird Nation has been the foundation and a key component of my life. And so oftentimes when we think about the traditional route of education, we tend to think about, going through K through 12 and then going on to college or university. Oftentimes we don't think about the community colleges such as South Suburban College. We don't think about alternative methods or taking that gap year. And to, truth be told, we're talking about in the midst of COVID and what we have experienced with racial unrest, we have to take all those things in terms of the current climate and culture of our nation into consideration as we move forward. And so when I say education has been a key component of my life, for those who know me know that I have to overcome quite a few different obstacles, and I didn't have the traditional route. So I do want to put emphasis on the key of education, but I also want to put emphasis on the fact of not putting so much pressure on ourselves that we have to take this cookie cutter approach to achieving our academic goals. But what I've noticed is that, being born and raised in Harvey, Illinois, I was born in 1980. I'll be 40 next year. I'm a mother of 5 children ranging from ages 13 to 22. And, I was a teen mother and lived in a poverty-stricken neighborhood where most times, if it wasn't for District 205, and I still remember my school counselor, Miss Kim Broney at Thornwood, if it wasn't for her assistance, because it's no shade to my family, it's no shade to my community, but oftentimes they were ill-equipped with the language. They would January 1st. Now, if you have not done so already, students, please complete your FAFSA. Make sure you're sitting down with your mom and or your dad or your guardian to make sure that you are all on the same page. And when it relates to completing your FAFSA, which I don't care if you get 1 million scholarships, one of the key components of going on to achieve your academic goals in higher ed is making sure you complete that FAFSA, so that school knows that you're interested and they can put a full package along with any scholarships that you have together and combine them so you can have in front of you the blueprint of what schools are offering what. And so I think what's so important is that as I was navigating my senior year of high school, mind you, I had a couple of hiccups in the road. I was an academic scholar, but then, I allowed life to happen to me in a way that was pretty much unexplainable, and I lost focus. And because I lost focus, I ended up taking a non-traditional route to education, but I still made it out on the other side. And so when I'm saying that one of the key components of my life is education, I'm saying that because even though I may not have thrived as a young adult in my early childhood or early adulthood in terms of taking a traditional route and working a full-time job and going to school full-time and things of that nature, because of teen pregnancy and other obstacles. Because when I was in the classroom, I was a high academic scholar. I was not seen as the girl who made a mistake. And oftentimes we put so much pressure on ourselves that what happens is that that imposter syndrome. And if you don't know what imposter syndrome is, it's basically not being able to accept when you look in the mirror, not being able to see your goals and your accomplishments, but always feeling as if you're defeated. And so because of that poverty mindset, there were times where I could have excelled further in life, but because I lacked knowledge, I lacked wisdom, I lacked courage, and I lacked the confidence that was able to get off that self-defeat road and head onto the road of success through education. And so when I started to take my education seriously after going to South Suburban College for 10 plus years, that is not, like something I want to clap for, but it's my truth. And so after going to South Suburban College off and on for 10 years, I finally decided that I'm ready to take the challenge of my life. And I was able to go on to Governor State University, and I have on my GSU hoodie today, Jaguar Nation. I walked in that door feeling defeated, but I walked out with the best level of confidence that I could ever have. I had learned how to understand different theoretical frameworks and how it applies to my life, and theoretical frameworks in terms of life application, and being able to make a name for myself and being able to sing as a big thought leader in my community, and co-creating the first restorative justice certificate program in the state of Illinois at the higher education level, going on to get my doctorate degree of education with a focus on higher education administration, and then coming back and paying it full forward and coming back full circle to the best district in the world, which is District 205. And so one thing I want you to take away is that in the midst of COVID, in the midst of civil and racial unrest, there are going to be quite a few uncertainties, especially now that we're operating and learning how to pivot education in terms of how do we best educate our students. I want you to put your best foot forward. I want you to reach out to the resources that you have available to you during the school day, Monday through Thursday, and especially on Fridays. If you ever need someone to take a look at your personal statement, your personal essay, or kind of get a better understanding of who you are as a person and how do you pivot from high school on to college and what college life may look like. This has been the silver lining for me in terms of COVID, because oftentimes as a college professor, what happens is when our students of color are entering the world of higher education, most times they're ill-equipped. They don't understand what a syllabus is. They don't understand that you have to go to the bookstore and get your books, or if you have a voucher, how to utilize that voucher to get the books that you need for the class, or that you should have read the syllabus and it's told first day of class, and understanding that once you read this, almost like your binding contract for that class. And just because you have a syllabus for one class does not mean that that syllabus equates to what you're going to do in another class. And so I think it's very important that now we have a time like never before when we're pivoting education and we're having these online resources and having classes virtually, that when you're going off to college, you're more prepared than ill prepared. And so please utilize this time to the best of your ability to progress, to ask the questions, to do your research, and be an advocate for yourself, but also know the people here in District 205 advocates for you too. And so thank you.
And clap.
I appreciate that.
Oh, that was great.
Yeah, I wanted to give a full presentation, but I think sometimes we have to take a step back and have someone just to share the realities of what they may have experienced. And me coming from that same walk of life, coming from 205, coming from Harvey, understanding different dynamics of Thornton, Thornridge, and Thornwood, and then what college looked like for a student of color, and understanding that right now, if you don't go anywhere else, being able to take classes at South Suburban College, being able to take those classes early on in high school, take advantage of those opportunities. So by the time you walk across stage with a high school diploma, you pretty much already finished your first semester, if not more, depending on where you are in life. But then also too, empowering the parents to understand that, you know, once you get to a certain age, we have to let our students have that autonomy to make decisions. But if we equip them as parents, as guardians, as leaders in the school, as educators, as administrators, if we come together as a village to support our students, they're going to make the best possible decisions based off what they've learned during the time they've been under our care. I love your background too, Miss Capolilo. Is that
right? So I'm in my kids' bedroom. I'm trying to hide from them.
It's beautiful though.
But thank you. Thank you. I love that. You gave some good information.
I appreciate that. And if you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to email me at jones.shaniqua, SHANIQUA @district205.net.
Thank you, Dr. Jones. We really appreciate it. Before I introduce the panelists, I would just like to point out Dr. Cunningham, our superintendent. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Cunningham. I also like to point out Ms. Graham, our Board of Education president, and also Ms. Winnington, our Board of Education vice president. I want to thank you guys for allowing us to have this event. And thank you for being on the panel with us.
Pleasure.
So next, we will have Tiana Edwards, who will be introducing the panelists.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tiana Edwards, and it is my pleasure to introduce our panelists for today. So first, we have David Salami, who received his bachelor's in integrative biological sciences from the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, and he is currently completing a master's program in biomedical sciences at Southern Illinois University in association with the School of Medicine. He plans to matriculate into medical school this coming fall semester 2021. He is the recipient of the Gates Millennium Scholarship, the First Generation Coca-Cola Scholarship, as well as the Illinois Promise Scholarship. Via these scholarships, he was able to graduate from college and graduate school with zero debt. Next, we have Sashay Capolilo, who is an enrollment specialist at South Suburban College. She has been employed by the college for 11 years, and she is also a Thunderbird. After completing her associate's degree in biology at South Suburban College, she finished her undergraduate degree at Governors State University, graduating cum laude. Next, we have Lori Williams, who is a native of Dalton, Illinois. Lori embraces her roles as a graphic designer, publisher, leader, and most importantly, a follower and lover of Christ. She graduated from Thornridge High School and is an alumna of the Illinois Institute of Art with a BA in Media Arts and Education. In 2020, she became the CEO and creative director of her company, Shadash LLC, a multidisciplinary design company that specializes in graphic design and book publishing for independent authors. Next, we have Tim Arrington. Tim is a sophomore attending Marquette University studying education with a focus on biology. He is a recipient of the Chick Evans Scholarship and the City Colleges of Chicago Star Scholarship. He is immensely engaged in the intellectual and mental improvement of the Black community. Next, we have Caleb Trevier. Caleb is a second-year student at Stanford University, majoring in chemical engineering with a focus on chemistry of the environment and minoring in Spanish. He is the co-chair of academic excellence and programs for the Society of Black Scientists and Engineers, the community coordinator of the Black Recruitment and Orientation Committee, and is on the committee of undergrads for the development of chemical engineering courses. He hopes to use his STEM knowledge to create chemical processes to help combat climate change and usher in the new era of environmental sustainability. Next, we have Leslie Wilson. Leslie is a Harvey, Illinois native and played basketball as well as graduating from Eastern Illinois University with a business management degree. He was a member of the Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity and is currently going to school to get his master's in business administration at Grand Canyon University in Arizona. And last, but certainly not least, we have Mariah Jennings. Mariah is from Chicago, Illinois, and she chose to major in public health at Kent State University. She proudly graduated in 2015. With that introduction, let's welcome our panelists.
Hello, panelists. We're going to start with asking you guys questions. So first, I want to ask you, what do community college offers versus the regular university or college?
I guess I can take this one. So for me, community college is a stepping stone. So a lot of students, I would say, is a stepping stone to a 4-year institution or into a career path. So a lot of students that come to South Suburban College complete their freshman and sophomore years with us. And the reason why they're able to save some money for their first 2 years, because no matter if you go to a 4-year institution or start at a community college, your first 2 years, you're doing your general education courses. So you're doing English, speech, psychology. So the same English 101 you might take at USC for maybe $1,000, you can take at your local community college for half the price. And all of the big universities recruit out South Suburban College because we all are accredited by the Higher Learning Association. So, they have scholarships available, especially for high school students in our district. If you graduate with a 3.5 GPA, you can get your 2 years there tuition free. Also, we have tuition waivers for high school students. Every high school student in District 205 should graduate at least 2 college credit courses under their belt. We have something called a tuition waiver. You get your first class there tuition free. If you get a B or better, you get a second class tuition free. Even if you're not thinking about community college, it's still great to get a head start on your college credits, and then you can transfer it to your 4-year institution. But then there's some students that don't want to be in school forever, like 8, 9 years. So I take my head out to all the doctors and lawyers, engineers in the future. Some people just want to enter a career field. So we have programs like welding, which might take you maybe a year to complete. We have CNA courses that might take you 8 weeks to complete, and you can start working in the field. Building construction, manufacturing, pharmacy technician, occupational therapy assistant. And I say community college is a great place for students, let's say maybe who are undecided and they're not sure where they want to go. Because like I said, your first 2 years, you're doing your education, your general education course, and then you have time to think what career path you want to get into and save some money. And I'm going to give you an example. So my sister, she graduated from Thornwood High School. When it was time for her to graduate, I tried to persuade her to come to South Suburban College. You know, most high school students, they turn their nose up and they want to go away. They want to move out of their parents' household. So she went to NIU for 1 semester. So including financial aid and scholarships, she still had to come out of pocket for maybe $12,000 in school loans, and that was just for one semester. So what she did, she called me. She came back to South Suburban College, did her 2 years there. She got her degree in radiology. Then she transferred to Rush University, got her ultrasound degree. And when I say she's making 80-some thousand, younger than me, way more than I am. So I always tell students, you can still be successful starting off at a community college. Like I said, it's just a stepping stone, getting your 2 years out of the way, saving some money, and then transfer to a 4-year institution.
Yes, thank you so much. So the next question I want to ask is, what is the transition like from high school to college?
Oh, I was gonna answer the last question, but well, I was gonna add on to what she said, but I don't think I heard of anyone who's still like an undergrad. So I speak from undergrad experience, and I just transitioned from, well, a year ago. I'm a sophomore. I just transitioned from high school to college, and it wasn't. It was definitely a transition in terms of like academic rigor and personally, mentally, like that big transition from like being with your parents and like being supported by them, and then like going off to college and you have to take care of yourself and being your own person. Especially me, since I traveled all the way to the other coast. I went all the way to California, so it wasn't like I had my mom to like fall back on or like be there and like cry if I needed to in front of her. It was more like, this is where you are, so you gotta it's not like make the best of it. But me going to a PWI certainly didn't, I had to look a lot for different resources that I'd be comfortable talking to, because up until that point, like I went to Thornton, so I went to school with everybody who looked like me. So I never had really to like, I can't say I never, but I was more comfortable talking to people that look like me. And at Stanford, that's the minority. So I spent most of my first quarter trying to navigate different resources for people of color that I would definitely be able to rely on and fall back on if I needed to. But in terms of academic rigor, it was, look, I did the IB program at Thornton. Now, I thought the IB program was awful. Like in terms of like, it was hard. It was a lot. But I'm very blessed for the program, because if I had not done that, I certainly would have drowned as soon as I stepped foot in Stanford, because it was the same amount of work from each class. But the difference is in college is the teachers are there to teach. That's it. They're not there to help you through emotional issues. That's not their job. That's not their job description. They are there to teach you what the curriculum tells you to teach you, and that's it. So where in high school, where you can go to your teacher and be like, hey, I need to talk to you about this, that's, and the other. Like your professor is like, hey, you got different resources around campus. I'm not the person you need to talk to. But I have to say that I was really psyching myself out a lot in terms of what I thought I could handle when I went to college and what I thought I couldn't. And I definitely downplayed my ability a lot. So imposter syndrome is real. And at my school, it's also something called the duck syndrome, where you see a duck floating on water and you see them calmly gliding, but under the surface, you see their feet furiously kicking to not drown. So that's most, like, as I progress through college, I see that's more and more likely, because as I talk to people who I thought had their stuff together, they're more like, oh, I'm struggling just like you. So definitely building a community in college is very important. And then navigating those different resources and realizing that you got into the college, you deserve to be there, you can handle it. So the admissions counselors didn't make a mistake admitting you. They didn't do any sort of like, oh, they're a person of color, we want to increase our diversity. No, you got into the college, you deserve to be there. And so you got to show them that you deserve to be there. And once I realized that, and I got my mental health in order, it was up from there. But now we're in COVID and I'm at home. But it's still it's still good.
Yeah. So how was it with your family members? How strongly did your family want you to join a college, and how did that really affect you?
College was definitely something that my mom said, you don't have a choice. You are going to college. And it affected me in a way where I saw how important it was, just about how much she was drilling that you should go to college. And she was very supportive. Like, I did not go away for college. So that might have been a factor into it as well. But definitely my family was supportive, wanted me to go to college. My parents definitely said that it's beneficial, like you should go. It's gonna be good for you in the future. It's gonna help you as far as like life and being able to get a good job, to be able to have a family, to be able to support myself.
If I could add to that, Lori, and I appreciate you saying that, I had somewhat of the same. My mom wanted me to go to school to keep me focused because she knew education was the key for me. But at the same time, my family knew much more about, South Suburban College and getting an associate degree. So once I excelled what may have been their expectation, it was just like everyone else felt lost. And so that goes back to what Caleb was saying in terms of the community that I was able to build based off of education being the key component, one of the key components to my life. My family became the GSU family because we're all in it. We looked similar. We were going to school for some of the same goals. We may have different disciplines and came from different walks of life, but we came together as a family because we had similar backgrounds. Like, my family don't understand what a bachelor's, master's, or doctorate consists of, or when you say dissertation, it's just like, okay, let's talk about religion, like that. And so I appreciated the fact that, I was able to find family at South Suburban College. I was able to go back and speak to some of my mentors from high school at Thornwood, Thunderbird Nation again. And then I also was able to foster a good foundation at Governor State too.
Yes, definitely. And to those of you who are on campus or are in school right now, what do you miss about campus, or what do you really miss about the activity on campus?
So the best thing about being on campus is that you're around all your friends, and like this is a college town, so everybody your age is just everybody your age and everybody in the same area. But that could be a disadvantage as well, because you could get distracted. So you and your friend can play the game all day and you miss out on assignments because your mom not there or somebody's not there to self-discipline you. So you have to have your own self-discipline. You have to know, like, you can't go to a party until your homework is done or something like that. You don't have nobody to tell you when to come in, so you can stay out all night. You can miss class. Nobody's teachers take attendance, but they don't care if you come or not, and that's a big factor in your grade. So have fun with it, because it's a college experience. You're gonna get it once. Some people don't even go to college. So if you do have that experience, have fun with it, but stay on top of your grades and have priorities. Like, be involved in campus. It's a lot of orgs, like Black Student Union, it's a lot of orgs that you get into. And if you want to talk to me about that separately or anything like that, or you can look it up on your website, whichever schools they offer different, like fraternities, or just to give back to the community. And sports is where I play sports. So I recommend sports. I miss campus, and it's like I miss my friends, but like it's hard to focus at home, especially when you see your bed right behind you, and you trying to focus on this lecture, and your bed just calling your name. Like, when you on campus, you can go to a class, you can go to a lecture hall, whatever. So you got people, like-minded people around you doing work. So you're cognizant of the fact that you have to do work. When I'm at home, I smell food, I see the bed, I see the TV. It's really hard to have that self-discipline at home. And that's one thing that I've really been trying to drill into my own head because I don't have somebody to tell that. It's like turn the TV off, go downstairs to the lounge so you can focus on your work. It's stuff like that. But I really want to go back to campus. I really wish people start wearing masks. Please stay in the house. Like, please.
I think all the college students are going through that right now. They ready to get back on campus. I'm the same way. It's the reason why I wanted to go away initially was to get away from my mother. But again, guess what? When the time came for me to go away, I let fear overrun me. And I stayed home. So I get it.
What really surprised you most when you moved to execute your post-high school plan and just going through college?
Mm-hmm.
Can I answer real quick? Okay, so what surprised me was that there are so many opportunities for people of color, especially young Black men and women. And I feel like a lot of people want to see us succeed. So the more that we realize that, and the more that we take advantage of it, and not be timid, and limit our gaze, the more like I don't know. It was just surprising to see how many scholarships there were out there. Like yes, like come here, like we want these these young African American students and scholars. So I think when you look for it, it'll find you.
That's true.
Strongly agree. Echoing that, there are so many opportunities out here. Not even for just people of color, like left-handed. There are left-handed people scholarships. There are scholarships for women. There are scholarships for pretty much everything. So if I wasn't as blessed as I was to receive the scholarships that I did, even then, like even when I knew that I was going to college for free, I was like, okay, so which money can I put in my pocket then? Which scholarships can I do to walk into college and not be broke? So even if you have full aid, keep applying for scholarships because you never know what might come up in the future that you'll need money for that the school won't provide to you directly.
And what was it like balancing sports and work in college?
I can answer that. So it was very tough because then an athlete is like a full-time job, and then you still got schoolwork. So we travel on the weekends, starting from like Wednesday to Saturday, we were traveling. So you want to go to class Monday and Tuesday, and you still got to make up your work. You still got to do assignments. If you got to test something, you got to talk to your teacher beforehand and make a schedule makeup. So you don't get any special privileges when it comes to the classroom. You still got to do all the same assignments on top of being an athlete, going to practice, going to weights, going to training, traveling, and doing study hall. You still got to do study hall for classes. That's when you have a group, like you sit down with your team and y'all have like counsel. You just do all your homework. You got to, well, we have 5 hours a week. You got to do study hall 5 hours, still do class work, still, I mean, you want to have a social life. So you got friends, you chill with your teammates outside of school or chill with your other friends outside of school and just getting your work done. So let's go back to time management. Time management and self-discipline, the biggest keys.
Be intentional. Like you have to make sure you know your schedule ahead of time. Like speaking from a standpoint of somebody that was working full time and going to school, having good communication with your boss, letting them know that you are in college, letting them know what your class schedules look like, knowing when your exam times are, making sure you set aside that time, and also limiting some of the outside activities. Like it's okay to hang out with your friends, but make sure you're intentional about your study time and know what time you do have available.
Yes, and what was your favorite part about campus life?
So my favorite part is outside of school and outside of basketball, joining the fraternity, and I just got to chill. We hosted events, charity events, been on campus for like Valentine's Day, we give out flowers, or like homecoming, we host parties. So just like the social life and the campus life of being on campus, being away, that was outside of school and outside of basketball. It's fun, it's a lot of fun. But priorities first always.
Mhm. I would add too, being able to not just join like some of the more well-known organizations, but being a part of student life. Like I was a part of student life, and it gave me a insight in terms of public administration, and you know what does it mean in terms of being interdisciplinary, and how do you operate in your gifts, and how do you be a voice for students who don't know how to effectively use their voice. And then it also opened doors to information that typically is internal, that you get the first dibs when there are internship opportunities. You know, what about teacher assistantships or research assistantships? And most times once you get above the level of having an undergraduate degree, in the midst of going like transition from undergraduate to graduate, you have all these different assistantships that are offered to you, that if you benefit from those in terms of, like I was a criminal justice teacher assistant or a teacher aide. And so I was able to have 9 credits paid for every semester. So even if I took 12 credits, which is full-time for financial aid purposes, 9 of those credits were paid for because of the position I took on. And then because of that position that I took on, it led to me, once I got to my doctoral program, I was able to move forward quickly and go into my doctoral program completely paid for because of those opportunities that I took, that most people might, you know, you have to learn how to sacrifice something, because if you sacrifice now, you won't become the sacrifice later. And so being able to make the sacrifice and take those low paying jobs while I was working full time outside of school and taking care of kids and things of that nature, and an elderly mom at that, taking on that position was so worthwhile because it opened the doors to so many other opportunities ahead.
So when you're considering a college, what do you really look at?
So for me, when I was in what college to go to, one big factor of mine was, since I knew what I was going to specialize in or what major I was going to focus on, I made sure I look at the schools that had that same track with mine. So if it was my major or my minor or something I could possibly major in, I wanted to see if the school had the, because not only are you interviewing for the school, but they're also interviewing you. So you need to understand that if this is the school I'm going to be going to, it's going to be for the next 4 years, and it's going to affect how I'm going to be later on. So my big thing was the major and also the support system in that university, because I have, and I've spoken to several of my friends that have been to different universities that were top tiered, and life was literally horrible. And it's not just because they are a top tier university, because they have the best professors and the best teachers, but also the support system that you get from that school is very big, because you need to be able to self-care during that 4-year period, especially if you're away from family. It's hard. And so sometimes it's hard for you to like relax and take care of yourself first, because grades come in and you're going to see a variation of grades coming in, and you need to be able to tackle that while understanding that my health is also really important. So yeah.
Yes, I want to piggyback on that. I agree with you. You have to do your research, because the college I was initially was supposed to go to, I was going for pharmacy, and coming to find out they didn't have a pharmacy program. So you have to research to make sure the schools you're looking at offer the programs you plan on going to school for. And then for me, like you said, be successful. I don't think I would have been successful at a big university, because the thing I love most about community college for myself was the small classroom sizes. So I was able to build relationships with my instructors and my classmates. And wherever you go, make sure you build those relationships, because you never know, you might need them to write a recommendation letter for you when you plan on applying for programs. So keep that in mind. But yeah, definitely do your research. That's a priority.
Yeah, I agree with that. You want to find out what works best for you. Like, do you learn a small environment, a bigger environment? What you like? And then on top of that, to narrow it down, well, the way I narrowed mine down was the money. I went to the school, who offered me the most money in that situation, and that fit what I was trying to do. And of course, have your major or your program, of course.
Yes, that's a big important one too. Financially, I know everyone wants to go away, but some schools are charging $60,000. That's more than what I make a year. So I always tell, so you have to weigh your financial options. If you're not getting a lot of money, definitely, weigh your options. Who's giving you? I was go who give you the most money.
Yes.
That part.
Yeah, you have to pay those loans back. And I know a lot of my coworkers who started off at 4 institutions. When I say they paycheck is literally them paying back their loans today. So you just gotta keep that in mind.
Oof. Yeah, my school is altogether tuition room and board $85,000 a year. Ooh. So I already knew.
Scholarships.
Yeah, I already knew I wanted to go to Stanford from the time I walked into high school. So it was a matter of me doing things to make sure I got there. And if I had not, well, actually, Stanford has need-based financial aid. You make a certain amount of money. You know, they pay for everything. But my mom was really worried about how much like I would have to pay. So if I had not been blessed with the Gates scholarship or the full financial aid package from Stanford, I probably wouldn't be going to Stanford. But
So congratulations, right? So that congratulations.
yeah. So when looking for colleges, even though I already knew I wanted to go, definitely major, location, different resources that they have on campus, organizations. These things all play a big role in college decisions, and make sure you look at everything holistically.
Mm-hmm. And this is the last question. So, do you guys have any overall ideas or information or advice that you would like to give in regards to applying for scholarships?
If I could offer one of the things, so I have 2 children who go to school in district at this moment. And so one of the things I'm working with, not just my biological children, but other children that I
Uh-oh.
Would anyone else like to answer the question? Any advice on scholarships?
Apply for them all. Apply for scholarships that don't apply to you.
Right.
Okay. You'll never know. The one I can say is no.
I think a lot of people get nervous to that stage. Take your time because you'll be surprised how many scholarships people do not apply for.
Mm-hmm.
Take your time and do your scholarships and apply early.
Yeah.
I was actually going to add, if you apply for scholarships and you perchance did get the full ride, that shouldn't be the end of it. You should continuously apply for scholarships because, so like I spoke about the fact that I graduated college debt free, but it wasn't just debt free. I was getting paid to go to college. So if you've accumulated enough scholarships, the refund money comes in. And say, for example, if you go to a 4-year institution, their position is called RA, and like in my institution, RA is tuition paid. But I was already like RA, the position comes with your tuition being paid. But if you've already come into the university with a full ride scholarship, the tuition comes directly into your account. So you're literally getting paid to go to college, which would definitely help both financially and in the long run.
That part. Like, I'm not on campus. I am in Chicago. I am in downtown Chicago. Downtown Chicago is expensive. I am not paying a dime for the apartment that I'm living in because my school is paying for it. So apply for scholarships. Full ride doesn't mean a thing. Like, just to reiterate what he said, if you can pocket money, I don't know one person on this earth that doesn't like to make extra money. Who just do it? Because they'll go right into your pocket and you can walk around with money. Everybody like money.
Right. And then I would say suggest work study. So if anyone's looking to apply for financial aid, put work study down. That's what I did when I was at South Suburban College. I worked in admissions and recruitment. You don't make that much money. I didn't years ago, but it was just money to have in my pocket to pay my cell phone bill. So definitely put down work study if you're interested in working while you're on campus.
Yes, thank you so much, panelists, for coming out. And at this time, I would like to reintroduce Mrs. King. She wants to finish up her presentation. So thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. My, I don't know, my computer and my PowerPoint presentation kind of stopped. And so I wanted to come on and just cover a couple of things. You guys covered a lot of stuff in your presentations or your answers to your panel questions. But there were a few things that were missed, and I just wanted to go over just a few things. First is the test blind or test optional. This year, because of the pandemic, a lot of schools, probably all schools, are doing what's called test blind or test optional. And that means that they're not expecting a score. They just will take your applications, and they're not expecting a score. Now that gives us a great opportunity for some people to apply to schools and just use the strength of your transcript only. And I think that's like a once in a lifetime opportunity. There aren't, this won't happen probably again, where they're not expecting you to send your test scores. So my advice to seniors that are maybe not good test takers, or maybe you just have a really strong transcript, and you can probably get in based on your transcript alone. I would advise to apply to schools now without your transcript. Without your test score, because they're test blind and test optional. And it also means that when you take the test, if you don't get a good score, or if you don't like your score, and a good score, for a school like Stanford, what's a good score, Caleb?
You do you want like the median or? Yeah, like 15, 30, 20, yeah.
Yes, high scores. If your score isn't almost perfect for Stanford, then I would just say don't ever send that test score in, because the schools being test blind and test optional will accept you without that test score. Another thing that I wanted to say is a change for this year. In addition to our virtual CCCs, you should be able to go online in your Google Classrooms and access our college career centers. They're just like the available at they're actually embedded in a computer at home or wherever you are. Very convenient for e-learning. And the other thing that I wanted to emphasize is that this year, for this class, for the class of 2021, Governor Pritzker has signed it into law that completing your FAFSA is a graduation requirement. So it's not just something that's optional, that if you do it, you can do it, you maybe won't do it. It's not an option. If you want to graduate, then you have to complete your FAFSA. So that's something that's new this year. And I wanted all the seniors and the students that are watching this to know that that has gone into effect. And then last, about scholarships, make sure scholarships are available in your Naviance account. If you go to your colleges tab, it says scholarships and money. You can access local. We post all of our local scholarships to Naviance, as well as the national scholarships. They have a great search in Naviance. As a matter of fact, Naviance, this is our second year using Naviance as a college and career tool. This is a perfect tool for e-learning, because many of the things in Naviance are just lend themselves to e-learning. We can email, we can communicate with you through Naviance, you can communicate with us, you can communicate with the schools through Naviance. It's just a great tool that we have. So I am, I guess, pleading with all of the seniors that are watching to make sure that you are using your Naviance account and you're getting the most out of it, especially if you can do things what are the best colleges? The best way is to go in to do your college match. That actually lets you put in special stuff that you like. Do you want a big campus? Do you want a small campus? Do you want an urban campus? Do you want a rural campus? Do you want it to have sports? Do you want it to have activities, co-ed activities? There's all kinds of things that you can put in specialty in your in that college match, and it'll bring up some real good matches for you. And it doesn't only match 4 years. There's 2 years, and there's trade schools, and even the military is in Naviance. It can come up on your search. So I encourage you to all use your Naviance accounts, use your virtual CCCs, and just take advantage of all of the things that are available to you as students at Thornton this year, or not at Thornton, in 205. I'm always thinking about Thornton because that's where I am. But again, 205 is always in my heart. So that's all that I wanted to say.
Thank you. And would you like to touch some on the fee waivers that is offered for District 205 students?
Oh, yeah, sure. There are fee waivers available for, we use the NACAC fee waiver, which is the just the fee waiver that every college accepts. And in fee waivers, we're talking about college application fee waivers, okay? Colleges charge for you to apply to school. So in order to get those charges waived, you have to use a fee waiver. You can contact your college and career counselors for fee waivers, but you can also contact your regular counselors for fee waivers. We both have them, and if you need them, just email us. Actually, it's available in my virtual CC. I'm assuming that Thorn was available, and Thorn in their virtual college and career centers. So yeah, but those are available for students who qualify. Pretty much every student in the 205 schools qualify, because one of the questions on there is, do you attend a school that has free or reduced price lunch? And yes, we are all in that school that receives free or reduced price lunch. So we're eligible for those college fee waivers.
No, thank you so much, Mrs. King. So right now, I just want to thank everyone for coming out, the panelists, the speakers, and all of you guys who tuned in. Thank you so much for attending. And at this time, I would like to introduce Jonathan Rodriguez, and he will be giving you guys information and giving you guys the okay to go.
Hello, everyone. Like Christiana just said, my name is Jonathan Rodriguez, and I'm the Public Relations Co-Chair on the Student Board of Education. On behalf of the entire Student Board, I would like to thank all of the panelists and attendees once again for participating today. For the students that attended today, in order to get your CCC points, you will have to go to the Student Board of Education's Instagram, and the link will be in the bio at SBOE 205. You all have until 4:25 to fill out the survey in the link. Thank you, and have a great rest of your day, everybody.
Thank you.
Awesome job. Thank you.
We have someone with a question. Catherine Bites. Would it be all right if I unmuted that person?
Of course.
All right, Catherine.
Okay, so I wanted to ask about the military stuff because I want to be a doctor, but obviously I'm not going to be able to afford it. So how would I do that? Like, I want to be a Marine, but at the
What
same time, I
school do
want to
you
be a doctor.
Can I ask what school you attend?
Yeah, I go to Thornton.
Oh, my school. Okay. So we're going to be connecting with the military and having recruiters be able to meet with you, just like the college recruiters meet. Please tune in with me in the college and careers Keynote, the military recruiter, which venture you're interested in.
Interested in being a Marine.
A Marine. Oh, perfect. Okay. Yeah, we definitely have contacts with the Marines, and I can put them in touch, or you in touch with them. If you just send me an email, do you have my email address?
I think so.
Okay. If not, it is, I'll give it to you real quick. It's King, my last name, dot Teresa with, you see my name on the list. I mean, in my, at District 205. Work on getting you connected with a recruiter, a Marine recruiter.
Just to add a little bit to what you said you wanted to, because I know, if I'm not mistaken, in your question, you said you also wanted to be a medical doctor. So my program also, because we have recruiters come into the program, regardless of your undergrad, if you plan on going to medical school and you also want to work in the military force, they do have scholarships, full ride scholarships for students. As long as you're taking your MCAT and you get a certain score, regardless of the medical school you go to, the military is going to pay for it. The only thing is you're going to have to serve for a certain amount of years after you come out of residency. So, yeah.
I know I've been like trying to figure things out for that. I've been interested.
There was another question about the CCC point. Devin Willis was asking where does he sign in to get the CCC point? They don't see the link on the Instagram page.
He doesn't see the link on the Instagram page?
Iram Bahora stated that she does not see the link on the Instagram page. Is there any way we can post it here?
It is posted now. They can refresh and it should be there now.
So please refresh the Instagram page, and it should be on there, everybody.
Yeah, it's in the title of, once you look at District 205 SBOE, you'll see the Google Doc. You need to click on the link in the Google Doc to complete the survey.
Yeah, so the students have until 5 o'clock to fill out the survey. And I would also like to invite Dr. Cunningham if he has any words to say before we close out the college panel.
Thank you. I appreciate the work that you guys have done, and I appreciate all of the alum who came back to give back to their institutions. And those of you who are not alum, who are just nice enough to take care of our kids here, we really appreciate all that you've done here. To that last student who was just talking about the military, you also have the option of going into any one of the service academies, and you can graduate from any one of those academies, of course, debt-free, and they would commission you directly from there. And then, of course, they would send you to medical school. So there are many, many options. We want to make sure that we find the one that fits you best. Again, thank all of you panelists, and for the students who listened. I think you've got a lot of great information so that you'll be able to move forward. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez. Have a great day.
Thank you so much, Dr. Cunningham.
I will be closing the live stream in 15 seconds.
All right. Can you give us one more minute? I also wanted to invite the Vice President Nina Graham if she would like to say anything.
Oh yeah, no problem. Ms. Graham? Let me see. She may need to be unmuted. Give me one moment.
This is Liberia Gordon, the student board president. If the president of Board of Education, Miss Graham, isn't available, we can close it. Just to remind students that you have until 5 o'clock to fill out the survey that's posted in the Student Board of Education bio. So if you want to gain your 60 points and win prizes, please fill it out now, and we will be posting the results on our Instagram to those who receive the prizes. So we want to thank everyone for coming out.
Which Instagram account is it again?
Student SBOE 205.
Okay, thank you.
SBOE
Take
205.
care.
Can you repeat what you said? I'm sorry.
Just said